This just in, ladies and gentlemen.
Joyce broadcast the extraordinary story to his local audience. It was possibly the biggest news scoop of all time.
It's still the only time in the history of the United States where the government has said, we've got a flying saucer.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
The release revealed few other details. It said that a local couple had seen an unusual craft in the sky on July 2nd. A Major Jesse Marcel had recovered the debris, and it was now being taken to higher military headquarters. The incredible story was quickly picked up by Associated Press and released around the world.
As soon as this story came out, all hell broke loose. New York calls, London calls. God, the world wanted to know about this.
The concept of flying discs or flying saucers had caught the world's attention just 2 weeks earlier. On June 24th, a respected pilot, Kenneth Arnold, reported seeing 9 objects flying over Mount Rainier like saucers skipping over a pond. Even though Arnold described the craft as having bat-like wings, the image of a flying saucer lodged with the public, and the term stuck. Over the next few weeks, hundreds of sightings of these new flying saucers were reported. The breaking news that one had been recovered near Roswell would at last unravel a mystery on the minds of anxious millions. What were these craft? How did they travel so fast? And were they from this planet or another?
This foil-like material that you could fold and fold and fold again, it would unfold on its own. Memory metal. Very thin, very lightweight. You couldn't cut it. The I-beams, the weight of balsa wood, but it wouldn't burn. This stuff wouldn't cut. Had strange symbols on it.
I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a spaceship. Maybe there were aliens out there. I don't know. But I know it wasn't a weather balloon.
Although the interview first came out in the National Enquirer, Jesse Marcel was certainly no crank.
He was the intelligence officer for the only atomic bombing group in the entire world.
Stanton Friedman followed up by finding more eyewitnesses.
Over the next 2 years, we found 62 people connected with Roswell.
The resulting book, The Roswell Incident, painted a very different picture than the Army's weather balloon story. It involved a crashed spaceship, alien bodies, and a ruthless 60-year cover-up. The Roswell story tells that one of the alien spaceships was struck by lightning, causing major damage. Debris from the stricken spaceship fell onto Mac Brazel's field before crashing into the ground 35 miles away.
So when did you say you found it?
I just drove out and it was all over the place like this.
Once the story reached the Roswell Army Airfield, 2 intelligence officers were dispatched to evaluate and collect the debris. Major Jesse Marcel and plainclothes officer Captain Sheridan Cavett filled several sacks with the material. That night, Major Marcel took some of the debris home and showed it to his 11-year-old son, Jesse Jr.
And when I walked in, I thought, well, why are you waking me up just to look at some garbage here? And he says, no, I look at this carefully because this is not anything you'll ever see again. And he says, I think this is parts of what they call flying saucers.
In the meantime, they've also learned that there's another site much closer to town, also based on civilian testimony.
A now dead witness, Jim Ragsdale, professed to have been with his girlfriend when he saw the spaceship crash 50 miles northwest of Roswell. In an affidavit, the local Romeo told how the military quickly arrived and removed both the crashed alien spaceship and its dead crew.
North of town, they are loading onto a flatbed and loading into ambulance trucks the remains of a ship and crew